Tumavele from programtom.com/dev here, and in this episode I'm gonna talk about how to accomplish speed of software development. And basically there are few tools, few approaches, and few items to look at to get up to speed. So first thing is think about software development in first principles. This is generally a physics point, but from my personal experience, I've coded on Java on old phones on the desktop for the backend with enterprise projects and uh, frameworks like Enterprise Java Beans, Java Server Faces, Spring, Portlets for Liferay, and from the most recent projects, I only focus on Spring Boot and Spring Framework. And I've also done some small Quarkus projects. But basically, I've also coded Android apps with Java, and I've also have some experience with Flutter. I've also coded some small Python scripts, and I was I had the need to figure out scripts, shell scripts to get things done. So basically, from personal experience, I could tell you, understanding the core beneath anything allows you to get understanding of new framework, language, coding approach, or anything fast. Basically, whenever I start a new project, I have fast adapting time, figuring out what is where, and I'm totally focused on what is expected, what the client wants, and I'm directly targeted to I'm directly targeting what the client needs and wants, and how and because I could understand new code fast, I figure out my way around. But there is, of course, a negative part from this personal experience. Diving on too many tech stacks and languages and frameworks and the negative part is not having the time to dive very deep on a single platform or niche. Basically, the world changes too much, and this is another point here. Getting to agile development and meeting client requirements. So basically, uh, to adopt uh, when you have teams and there is a need for project managers and product owners and coordinate a work between 5, 10 or more developers. It's needed to have some framework like Scrum, Kanban, Agile, and all of them emphasize on the cooperation, on iteration, and delivery, fast delivery up to 2 weeks of new features, and after delivering what is coded to the client, there is a continuous feedback loop and getting what could be improved and how is the development going. So basically, this is active communication between. This is maintaining open communication with clients throughout the project, not wait 3 months to show the client something, but show the client um, some progress whenever it is stable enough. And getting things stable is another thing that the client is satisfied when things work. And to have these functionalities delivered to developers so they could code them properly, there should be a very good user stories. So the business analyzer needs to break down the requirements into smaller manageable user stories and cases, and basically what is coded but on a user level, on a non-tech user level, the if and else clauses, and whenever something happens, what is expected from the software. So basically this helps to identify and the features and what is required where, and when everything is written, it is easier to um, organize the tasks and prioritize what should be developed and when. And after that, uh, one once the project is delivered to some clients, there should be continuous monitoring and feedback loop to ensure software is meeting the goal of, of the client. So basically, this is one of the keys of a successful startup. That is a booklet I have written. Uh, some steps of the ultimate steps of software startup, and basically user feedback is one of the essential points to a successful startup, and this requires monitoring and checking out some crashes and any issues from the users needs to be uh, looked at and delivered back when things does not work. And when teams are big, there is a need of collaboration tools like Jira and some others, and some chat platforms like Microsoft Teams, Slack, or any other real-time communication. And there is also a need for uh, design sharing across team with tools uh, like Figma, and what is expected when with 1 minute. Yeah, Miro boards are very useful for sharing requirements across teams. And one of the items that speed up software development is having DevOps tools and practices from the start. Basically, the developer should not take too much time delivering a software product. Uh, the developer should focus on code and code quality, and everything after merging the code should be automated in pipelines and tools like Jenkins, Fastlane, that also execute automated testing, building, deployments, deliveries, and yeah, they have also CI to prevent delivering of bad code and so on. I've personally have implemented Jokko code analysis, code coverage tool, and yeah, one of the obstacles of having a fast software delivery is code quality. Whenever someone wants fast, the quality is often the item that gets hurt. It is hard to reach high code quality when it is expected to be delivered fast. And one from practice could try to get the code with design patterns and to be well documented and separated with solid principles. But this comes with practice and with and also with tools that help that. And another thing for code quality is having code reviews. Basically, whenever there is a larger team, everybody should know what the code does, and uh, so when someone reviews other people's code, it is a experience to learn a new way and new approach of how things could be done, and also one learns to give feedback on the code. So this very important for elevating in position, to be able to give constructive feedback. So mm, it is often used uh, to two developers to work on a single task. With nowadays screen sharing tools, there is the potential of two heads thinking about tasks in the same time. And the Visual Studio Code has a live share feature that also could also share uh, the same workspace between two remote machines. And another great tool is code analysis tool. I have recently written about this, about getting static code analysis on code, and this could be automated during uh, the code check as part of the CI, and there this could be implemented with a Jenkins task, or with tools like SonarQube, code coverage, and some others. Could execute code coverage and even break builds and not allow mm, code that does not follow the best practices to get deployed. And everything that could be automated should be automated. Basically, the key to get software fast is to know, to figure out what are the repetitive steps, and to automate them, to write them down in scripts. And for this, it is required a clarity on the task. So in many cases, a user goes into some sub screen or sub page of an application, and going there could be implemented with some automated tool. So from a developer point of view, one could get to the place where the code changes fast. So tools like Selenium could help that. Great speed up software development is basically CI/CD tools lift up the load from the developers to not to think beyond code, to not think beyond git merge. All the commands are repetitive and could be executed from a remote machine. And another things that could speed up development is having API first documentation. So basically, for example, in Spring Boot, if one implements the logic in services, uh, he or she could expose the logic from a REST endpoint, or create some UI on. I personally prefer Vaadin, but there are also HTML templating engines in Spring Boot, like ThemeLeaf. And basically, when one focuses on API first, he or she focuses on the logic and does not worry about how the logic will be translated to the other users of the software. Great tools to speed up development also is having a code generation and reuse. Basically, utilities like Swagger UI and some API code generators could create boilerplate code, and there are some boilerplate code generators. Like for example, in Flutter, there is a build runner that and it is used by many plugins and packages to generate boilerplate code that is repetitive, that is out of the actual business logic, but it is necessary, like from and to JSON, or like defining endpoints is just pointing out the HTTP method, the parameters, and all of that, and the actual writing to the HTTP could be generated with retrofit interfaces, and it is implemented in Android development and in Flutter also. One of the greatest tools nowadays to speed up development is to use AI. I have talked before about using some GPT to chat with some GPT, and the source code is actually a subsection of the human written languages. So at the end, it is all text. You could ask your AI for any type of logic algorithm and in any programming language. The hard part becomes how to properly ask your question, so it will not use external to what external libraries it will use in what version of the programming language and how it should be organized. All of this is elevating you to figure out how to ask what code should be generated. But in general, I've started using the AI not just for logic, but also for Java docs generation, for documentation, generating the README files, and for articles and so on. And yeah, there is also an option to use GPT offline. There are some open source models, and basically, I think most of them are pretty work pretty fine enough. So you don't need super smart GPT and super big, as it requires a lot of RAM to run. But basically, it is super useful for generating your code and beyond code. So I've also talked before about several other speeders, items that speed up development, and these are tools like bootstrappers that bootstrap new projects, new apps, and new features, new screens. And these types of tools create fast new projects and could allow you to speed up from zero to prod in no time. Basically, you just need to set up some environment settings that will be specific for the specific project, and you could have an app on production in no time from zero to prod. And another great item to get new features delivered faster is having reusable components, and frameworks like Bootstrap and component libraries in all types and in all languages and platforms could allow you to have ready-made building blocks that are even higher level than just the styling of items. So basically, you directly set up what is required to from the user, what is what what the user is asking, and not think about styling and how rounded some button is, and these small items that are expected but are mundane to get to program them. And another great tools that could speed up development are in- integrated development environment plugins for fast code refactoring and generation. Basically, any project is is opened in a IDE, in a program that wraps up all the code and packages it, and allows you to debug the progress of the logic and inspect the values. And many such tools, such programs have the possibility to be extended, and the long-term thinking companies develop their own IDE plugins to figure out how to speed up new feature development. By implementing these strategies and techniques, you could balance the demand of meeting client requirements and achieve high quality, but also to have some tests delivered with the software in a reasonable pace. Basically, the most hurting part of in speed of software development is having tests. So I have also have fallen in some parts on this topic, but I will improve with the time. But basically, mm, if some approach of development is embedded in you, you could also get tests even before the logic, and this way, when you have the muscle memory of your finger, even the tests will be fast to implement and deliver.